Do you feel like you're stuck in a box? Maybe you're ready to pod fade out and your show just isn't bringing you any love. So today I wanted to bring in one of my friends, and she happens to be one of my clients, the Samantha Parker, who's the host of The Glitter, where she's talking self-love, glitter, and all things living that level 10 life. But she's doing it differently. She is dropping what we call glitter bombs. And I want to share with you today her take on running your podcast the way that feels oh so good for you. So are you ready? Let's go. Welcome to the podcast about podcasting, where you guessed it, we're talking all things podcasting, but not just in the sense of strategy of how to launch, grow, and monetize your show. Of course, you're going to get that, but we're going deep into how podcasting can actually help you build your community, build your confidence, and if you're willing to lean deep into this platform, it can be the ticket to the life of your dreams, because it'll inspire you to go deeper, to get to know yourself. And as we know, success starts from within. If you are ready to stop being a ripple in this world and bust out your tsunami of change you know you were made for, it's podcasting for your soul. I'm your host, Jen Dragonette, so let's dig in. So welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. It's podcast party.
Podcast party. I'm really excited because Samantha is one of my clients, actually, and she is doing something so different with her show, The Glitter. First, I want you to tell us a little bit about The Glitter.
Okay. So I was just on a podcast interview and they're like, tell us about your podcast. And I was like, but I got to tell you about The Glitter first, because The Glitter to me is really just finding the good things in life, like cultivating the stuff you love, even if you're having a shitty day, like all those kinds of things. But The Glitter is my daily podcast that was inspired by our conversations.
Yes. And that's something, again, we don't see it very often as the daily podcast, but there's very few out there, but they're very successful in having a 1 to 2 minute show a day. And we were just having a conversation before this, and you said somebody asked you why you would do a daily podcast.
Yeah. So my friend, she's like, my husband was like, why would she put out a daily podcast? Who would listen to that? Especially 1 to maybe 3 minutes max if I'm really chatty. And my friend was like, well, I just listened to 3 of them. So you know what? They're awesome.
And what inspired you to do this? Because I know that you're a social content creator beyond all the other glittery things.
No. So I've had a podcast for years, right? In different capacities and different things. And it always felt very like, oh, I have to do the podcast. Oh, I have to do the podcast. And I don't want to feel that way when I'm recording a podcast, for starters. And then I've always been obsessed with motivational audios where you just get really pumped up. The ones that are like, I need to go hit the gym. They're very geared towards like men and they're awesome. But for years, I've been like, how cool would it be to just have a little daily show where people just got some inspiration, because inspiration does matter. And screw what everyone says, like you have to stay inspired or else there's no point in any of this. So why not put out short little episodes where we can just give little, well, we called them glitter bombs. I think you're like, just think of it as a glitter bomb where we could put out short little episodes. And then as I've been doing this though, as a podcaster, I get so excited to record them. Like I just recorded a whole batch to send over to you and I am like lit from it.
And I love the way that you send them to me, because I can tell the difference between the podcast when it was a solo, when it was interviews, and that excitement. And I think that excitement is really what attracts listeners. And like you said, that daily inspiration to, have a glow up in your life. Speaking of glow up, I know that you also have a product that goes along with your show. So I want to talk a little bit about, switch gears a little bit, of how you're using your show, because you've rebranded and you basically are this whole brand of glitter.
Yeah. So I have a physical product that has glitter in it. So like body butters, serums, cosmic goo, and then we have some other fun self-love stuff. But yeah, I wanted it to all be encompassing. And you know, what's funny is I didn't set out in the beginning to be like, I'm going to create this whole like circle, right, of glitter stuff, and it's all going to flow together. And honestly, it's just been working out magically. But what I love about the podcast is at the end, I just say, if you want more glitter, head over to the glitter.me. It's like a short link we created and it just goes to my link tree. But I'm like, there's so many resources there for you. So it's really like a whole circle moment, you know? I'm like thinking of myself like stirring a cake. I'm like, it's all coming together.
Right. And what I think is really cool is that we've met in person. We've had this connection for a while. And when I first met you, you were just known as kind of like the glitter lady. Like everybody sent you glitter in the mail. You were covered in glitter.
I know. And I wish I could pinpoint a moment where, you know, people are like, wow, she really loves glitter. But I think I would just talk about it. And maybe my personality exudes glitter, but I would be like, yeah, I love glitter. I love just different things with glitter. And I would post it. And sometimes I would talk about like glitter. And then everyone just like really caught on to it too. Like this has been, 8 years in the making.
So what was that moment that you're like, okay, this is going to be more than just glitter. This is an actual movement of self-love.
Gosh, it feels like really organic. Someone just asked me this and I was like, I didn't just wake up one day and I'm like, this is going to all be like glitter, right? And it's going to be this movement. It's been different pieces and different things coming together. And now I'm like, oh my God, the universe was conspiring in such a way that I'm just now realizing as I'm saying it, that I couldn't have planned this better. There was definitely something else at work here.
Yes. So if you had one little piece of advice for maybe a future podcaster or someone who's in podcasting, but is in that state of this feels hard, that I don't even want to record anymore, what would you tell them?
I would find something that you do love doing. Maybe you need to change topics because I have a digital marketing agency and that's not exciting and fun for me to talk about. So maybe you don't love what you're talking about, or maybe you should change the format and the way that you're doing it. Do you have to do a daily podcast? Like, hell no. It's just something that I love. And we do still sprinkle in. See, we can use glitter as a pun all day long. We sprinkle in longer glitter form interviews, but I found a way to make it something that I loved. So that's the thing is if you're on any platform, like maybe you're creating TikToks and you're like, I hate this. Maybe it's the content that you're creating or the way that you're creating it. And maybe you could change some things up, Yes.
I love that you are creating this movement. You're adding to what I call the tsunami of self-love that we really want to take over the world. So where can people find you and your podcast? Can you share with us again?
If you go over to the glitter.me, I have everything linked up there. On Instagram, I'm the Samantha Parker. On TikTok, I'm Chill Glitter. But if you just go to the glitter.me, you'll find me.
I love that. And I've loved watching your journey because it has been, you went from a co-hosted podcast to the next podcast. And I don't know if you had a podcast before your co-hosted one.
No, that was my first podcast.
That was your first. And then we did this rebrand and I've seen you step into that place of joy. Like you said, if it doesn't light you up, it's not going to be fun.
Yeah, but I had to go out and also experience all of those experiences to lead me here. And there might be a day down the road where I'm like, hey, this isn't bringing me joy. Like, how can we realign? So you have to constantly be like realigning.
Yes. And I'm gonna put you on the spot. Can you drop us a daily dose of glitter to close out our show?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, the episode I just recorded that you'll soon get, I said how to be a self-love baddie. And I want you guys to take this term really like self-love and baddie and put it together. Because a baddie, the slang definition is like a woman who is slaying. And then self-love is just like a journey of admiration for oneself, right? And it's not associated with narcissism at all. So be a self-love baddie. Like take that baddie energy of like, I'm going to slay, like I'm a woman out here, like doing my own thing, and put it together with your self-love journey. And I think you'll have like this amazing era of being like, fuck yes.
Yes, and more yes. So go check out the glitter or your daily dose of glitter.